So let's talk about something kind of exciting today. Synastry aspects of the best sex ever. And this is something that as an astrologer, people are not too shy to tell me about. And I definitely have heard things and known things myself. And this is something that you can definitely check before you get to that point in a relationship with somebody. And of course, there's going to be many more indicators of this than what I'm going to share here, but these can be some general guidelines to know that if you do have these aspects, you're probably going to be good in that area. So let's talk about this. So, having an aspect from one's Mars to the other's chart is very important. And, ideally, it's going to be something like Mars Moon, Mars Venus, or Mars, even, or even Mars Sun can be quite good. You don't want to have someone's Mars not aspecting in a powerful way to that other person's chart, okay? You want to have Mars ideally from both sides, but you can get away with maybe if it's one person's Mars to one person's Venus. This shows that the actual act of sex and like the timing of it and the moves of one person is kind of compatible or aligning with how the other person receives that energy. So you do want to see Mars aspects. You don't want to see zero Mars aspects. And, even if they're hard aspects, the squares, the oppositions can still have the heat there as well, although they could indicate more challenges in the long-term sense of actually getting along. They don't tend to indicate that the attraction is not there. So you want to have Mars touching the other's chart in a pretty powerful way with the personal planets, or the ascendant might be the best of all because the ascendant represents someone's physical body and self, which tends to generate a high level of physical attraction and compatibility. Now, next, I would say Venus to Mars as well. I mean, this is kind of classic. This is not surprising. Venus to Mars is very good. And I would say all of the aspects except the inconjunct, which can tend to be a little bit more awkward. But when Venus is touching Mars, going either direction, it doesn't have to be the man's Mars to the woman's Venus, although that's great, but they're great both ways and just showing, different masculine, feminine dynamics. Now, Venus aspects are going to show that there's a pleasurable side to the sex. It's the feminine side, it's the enjoyment side, it's the sensual aspects. So that is also important to see. Now, Venus Mars is very good. Other aspects that could be good is, Venus Moon, even for that love and tenderness, which is important for some people to feel in order to really open up in that way sexually. So Venus Moon is great. Venus Sun is very classic for physical attraction and compatibility as well, especially the opposition. Actually, I've seen that a lot in couples that are very attracted to each other. It's like they have never seen somebody as beautiful as that person that they have Venus opposite Sun with. So that can translate to very pleasurable sex. All aspects are good between Venus to Sun. And also, I did say Venus Mars. We got to talk about the main ones. Venus Pluto can't go wrong. Any aspect, best sex of your life, unforgettable. This has been told to me many times. I may or may not know it myself. You can't beat it. Amazing, soul consuming, powerful sex that you will obsess over. And there also could be an element of like, it's forbidden, or, and people love that. People love that feeling of Venus Pluto. And, it's kind of like, this is kind of bad. I'm going to do it anyways. People love that, especially Venus and Scorpios or Plutonic people in general with a powerful Pluto. Are going to love Venus-Pluto synastry, and everybody can enjoy the easier aspects of Venus to Pluto. Those are great. Can't go wrong. Also, what else do I want to say here? Okay, I'm going to just leave this one short, but Those are going to be my top aspect indicators of really, really good sex. So we've got Venus, Pluto, we've got Venus, any of the personal planets. Oh, Venus ascendant is also nice and lovely, although it's not as overtly like primal and passionate and sexual. It's another indicator that there's an appreciation of each other's beauty and a physical compatibility. Then we talked about Mars. Of course, Mars being aspected in one way or another is a very good sign for sex. And then let's just do an honorable mention to the more sexual house placements that you don't have to have these activated in Synastry. You could have just as great sex with fourth house or sixth house Synastry overlay, but the houses that are more predominantly going to activate this very physical or primal attraction are going to be the first, the second, the fifth, the eighth, and the 12th. You're going to see those activated in the stories where people are telling you about the best sex of their life.